Everybody, I'm Ben. This is Hayden. Say hi, Hayden.
Hey guys, I'm Hayden.
And we're here for the very first episode of short educational videos with Full Field Ag. We're going to go through some things that might be handy to have here at harvest time. So some of the things we want to cover are getting equipment swapped over from a tractor to the combine and getting settings right, making sure we have the right satellite GPS source, making sure firmwares are current, and a few other odds and ends along the way. So we'll start out. We've got the display on the home screen. This is your Incommand 1200. First thing we do once we power it up, go up to this display icon, tap it, and we're going to go to the diagnostics page. And we want to look right here at the top corner of the screen, and it says release 5.5. That is going to be current firmware for this harvest season. And it's also important to remember, if you're running display cast, all displays have to be on the same firmware. You also see we have our speed module, our grain flow sensor, and our moisture module in the Can A list. Those are all items that need to be present when you power up the display, and that tells us that all of our harvest modules are online and talking to the display. Let's go to setup. Let's go to steering and guidance icon. You can see up here we have steer command, GPS 7500. If you steer your tractor in the spring, but you don't steer your combine, we need to select this and go to manual guidance. If you don't do that and the steer command is not present, your satellite up here will go gray and stay gray, and you won't have any sort of mapping function. In the instance of you do have steer command, you have to select your warning to accept that you're going to be steering. We'll wait for the steer command to come back online, and then we'll hit the wrench. And at this time, we'll hit Manage Vehicles, and you can see a list in here: sprayer, tractor, combine. What we want to do is make sure that we switch from the tractor to the combine so that all the ECU orientations and everything is correct and the right steer profile is selected. Otherwise, you're going to get steering errors the first time you hit engage. To change it, you just click on it, hit select, and it'll flip that to the current vehicle. I'm going to switch back over to combine so I don't forget. And your active vehicle will be shown at the top. We hit our back arrow, hit our back arrow, hit our back arrow, and that brings us back to the home screen. It's important every year to do a vibration cal with each header type that you run. So with your corn head on, do a vibration cal. With your platform table on, do a vibration cal. This is going to take into account all vibrations in the drivetrain of the combine. We go to setup, go down, select our combine, 12-row head, hit the wrench. Grain calibration, we can select soybeans, sorghum, corn, whatever you have in there. It'll tell you if you have a calibration loaded or not. We hit the wrench, and down in the bottom right corner, it says perform vibration cal. If you read through this list, it gives you a step-by-step instruction on how to complete it. You hit the start button. It'll go through a process that takes 60 seconds, and at the end, it will automatically load your new vibration cal number. Also in this screen, it's important to see here, retire current calibration and start new. If we hit that, that will retire last year's grain calibration and allow you to start a new one for this year. It's important that you do a new cowl each year just to account for changes in the machine and any differences that might show up. Another calibration we can do is header height. This sets the maximum and the minimum height of the header so that the header height sensor feeds back to the display, and we can set our set point as to when we want our system to quit logging when we pick up at the ends. So we pick it all the way up, hit set max, lower it all the way down, set min, then we do our forward arrow, and for each crop type again, depending on which header we have on, we select it, and we can run the header all the way down and all the way up, and this percentage here should change. When you set it about the height you think you want it, it shut off, hit set height, and hit accept, and that is your new shutoff point for logging. Something else we can cover today is some of you guys might be getting different corn heads, and I think HeadSight has an ISO compatible function now. Some of you might not currently use the universal terminal, but that is where you're going to see information about ISO equipment. So to turn that on, we'll go to Setup, we'll go to Display, ISOBus Settings, Enable Universal Terminal. Accept. Now you can see that that icon was grayed out. Now it is blue. We can select it, and this is the screen that you will see those functions come up on. If you have an ISO function hooked up, as soon as you open this screen, there will be a little black box that runs back and forth down here, and that means it's looking for things on the bus. If that doesn't happen, something's probably not hooked up right. Another thing that you may be using, a lot of people are starting to get cameras on their machines. You can see that the camera is grayed out here. So we're going to do the same thing. Go to Setup, Display, Enable Video, and now our camera icon is highlighted. We can select it, and we can look at up to 4 different screens of the camera.